Talk to me about the media company that's new to me.
Yeah,
define what
so
you mean by
like
that.
just a few people kind of going back to, so there's the book The One Thing, which I know you've heard of, and like I said, I'm always like reflecting every week, and long story short, two things kind of dawned on me. The first was that I personally do enjoy creating content. Like you had said a second ago, even if I made no money from it, I just like making content in the first place. And the second thing was, if I thought of like, okay, I personally find it very difficult to plan 10 years into the future. Like anytime I'm trying to do our company annual like I can only go 3 years. I just can never go past, because I'm just like, this landscape changes. Who would have known AI like ChatGPT would be here 3 years ago? And so I'm like, so when I'm thinking of I don't know what I want in the future, but how could I prepare myself? How could today Ravi prepare himself for future Ravi? And I, in short, pretty much identified that if I can just continue to garner attention and build an audience and build a following, no matter what I choose to do in the future, I'll be successful at it, right? I look at Ryan Reynolds, I look at Conor McGregor, I look at Kylie Jenner, you look at The Rock, people, no experience in alcohol, or I saw that Ryan Reynolds just launched this like TV media advertising company, you know, but because
Mint Mobile too.
Exactly, yeah. Mint Mobile, and I'm sure he has equity or something in all of those companies.
Yeah, well, he exited Mint Mobile for like 400 million or something.
So that's a perfect. So he's done a great job at garnishing his attention, and then pretty much you have that, which is the most valuable thing in today's society. And so then I call it the attention cannon. You can then just point it at any offer, any idea that you have, and it'll instantly be a success.
Yeah.
And so
Feastables.
Feastables with the Mr. Beast. You have
that big collab that they did
with
Logan Paul.
The exactly.
The Lunchable replacement.
So anything you could like, in all honesty, I'm not knocking them. I've never had it before, but I've also heard not the best reviews of that stuff. And so like a product is important, but I would even argue that today and in the future, attention is going to be the most important, especially if it's as wide as like a B2C offer like Feastables or something where it's like,
of course, or Prime,
or an energy drink,
hyper competitive space that's been owned by the same 3 brands for the last 3 decades,
and they were able to literally come in totally organically,
disrupted it.
So
multi-billion-dollar company.
So I feel like attention like that. So when I look at that, okay, as long as I get that, then I'll probably be okay anything I do, and it just happens to be something that I love. And in the past few years, I've been a very ads heavy guy. You know, I've spent quite a bit of money on ads, and it's always even what we used to help our clients with was ads. But then the ads landscape started shifting. Right now, it's more expensive than it's ever been. It's only going to get more expensive on top of that. I hear a lot of people unprofitable with their advertising campaigns. And I've always just treated content and media as just like, I'll just do it when I can. I'll film it in my room. It doesn't like, I just didn't really care too much about it. And don't get me wrong, I was putting 3 reels out a day, 3 YouTube videos out a week. But it was just like, I was just doing it.
Yeah.
And what I decided in Q4, after we kind of analyzed the stats in Q3, I was like, I've never done this before, but let's just go all in on media and let me just build like a media company out of a great example of someone who's done this well is Dan Martell. You know what I mean? Like he's created a media company out of him and his name.
I love Dan. He's a savage.
Exactly. And so, and everybody I know that are at like the level above me, they do something similar. So long story short, I was like, well, that's what I'm going to do. So now it's like heavy investments into my my Instagram reels, heavy investments into YouTube, scripting, analysis, heavy investments into, I'm going to be writing a book here soon. I just started that process as well. So it's like trying to get investing into this media, essentially conglomerate that's just myself. I see this as like a genesis of what's going to be the level that I'm trying to unlock for the next level of me in the next 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, I think the people who will win biggest in whatever downturn of the economy happens, whenever it happens, because it's going to happen eventually, inevitably, the people who win the biggest are the ones with the biggest brands.
Yes.
Because they don't lose in that time. Like that, the next downturn will be the setup for like Gary Vee to be a multi-billionaire by the minutes, you know, because he'll be able to go on the offense so much just because of brand. You know, like if you don't have to spend to get attention, you win. You know, like that was why Prime won. I was listening to Logan Paul on somebody's podcast talking about it. And that's he was talking about. He was like, we have 0 marketing budget. There's 0 marketing dollars went into Prime, and they did $250 million in revenue their first year. It was $0 in marketing. They had some brand deals that they did.
Sure, of course.
They did some brand deals with like they're the official drink of like the Lakers. I think they're UFC now as well. and then a few like Premier League teams over in the UK.
But they wouldn't even
like
gotten in those doors for those deals?
Correct.
Without Logan's.
If they didn't have brand. Yep,
yes,
exactly.
originally.
Exactly. And if they didn't have the budget to be able to put money to those rather than having to spend money on ads. SEO or whatever else, you know?
Yeah, it's like I said, even coming from an ads guy, so October, first month of Q4 was our best month all year profit wise for us.
Okay.
And it was because I shut off all ads and I just went all organic. And when we started the month halfway through, now we're at 54%, but we were at 76% close rate at one point there. And which is nuts. Yeah. It's and you look at like, what's the fastest way to grow a business? If you were to take your close rate from 35% to 76%, it's like that was really what I think exploded us in October. But like you had said, I was doing my P&L with my bookkeeper beginning of November, and it was so funny because usually marketing is 20% of our ad budget or our budget every single month, our amount of cash that we collect. And last month it was 3%.
Wow.
So it was just like, and so all of that
increased close rate, decreased spend rate,
just all of that just dropped to my bottom line.
Right,
and I was just like, and even, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I even had to then call my tax planner in my family office because I was like, hey, what we were planning on our end of year profit, we need to adjust this because this was a huge month for us. And usually I spend this much on ads.
I don't want to get raped come April.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're trying to we make plans before the end of the year. And so it was funny how kind of all of that worked. But yeah, it's so the two interesting studies that also kind of back up everything we're saying here. Number one is the General Social Survey, which is the longest person-to-person trust study done in the world, shows that right now in the United States, we're at the lowest point of interpersonal trust in the last 40 years, with the majority of people saying that somebody else can't be trusted, right? Rather than can be trusted. So you have a lot of people, and that's obviously exacerbated by ads, right? Which is everyone thinks ads are scammers and they're immediately their guard is all the way up, right? And so you have that working against you if you're trying to acquire clients through paid advertising. And then the other thing is Google came out with a study, this is a few years ago, but it's called the 7-11-4 rule. And they identified that on average, it takes 7 hours of content across 11 touch points in 4 different locations to turn a stranger to a buyer. And so
7 hours?
7 hours of content exposure. So what we and it's like, remember, it's across 11 touch points in 4 different locations. So it can't just all be ads. It can't just be a video sales letter. It can't just be an email sequence. It can't just be a YouTube video or a podcast. If you want to compete in the coming landscape, it needs to be a blend of it. And you need to have a system around. You need to be able to put it out there and have somebody hit 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they don't even know that they're in the middle of this kind of invisible funnel. So I think that to your credit, you had said it a second ago, but I think that in the coming 1 to 2 years, those that don't realize this and start investing into making changes to this now, and slight changes, right? It doesn't have to be insane. I think they're going to be either out of business or really struggling in the next 48 months.